Welcome back. I was not going to do any canning today, but I went to the store to get the rest of the stuff I needed for our fish tacos, and walking through the meat department, I saw the sign that had boneless, skinless chicken breast on sale for $1.58 a pound. I have not seen that in years, so I could not say no. I had to get it. Anyway, so I'm going to can some chicken. I had actually washed some jars to make some jelly, and then I thought I'll just use them for that. I was going to make pints of jelly, and so this works out perfect because I can then go ahead and use those sterile jars for this chicken. It just must have been meant to be. So I'm going to trim all the fat off of these. And I raw pack chicken, especially if I'm in a hurry. I find it comes out just fine. I don't mind it at all. I do not, though, I put in my jars, instead of just salt, I put a little bit of chicken bouillon. So I cube these up into bite-sized pieces, and this makes, you take it out, you use it in whatever application you want. We make tacos out of it. We'll have barbecue chicken, if you're doing a chicken casserole. Each pint jar, as most of you know that can, holds 1 pound of meat. So it's a perfect size for packing that in. And quarts hold, of course, 2 pounds. So I'm going to cube up. I've got 10 pounds here. I probably won't be able to, because the canner won't hold 10 pounds, or do 10 pounds. I could probably only do 8 or 9, depending on which size jars I use. I've got some, I guess they're mainstay jars that actually I can fit 9 of them in my canner. So anyway, I'm going to cube this all up, and I'll come back when I'm ready to get the process started. All right. All right, I got all the chicken cut up except for 2 of the breast. Well, 2 halves. Anyway, pretty fast actually. And I have my lids and rings over here in hot water that I've brought to a boil, and now it's just steeping over there. I have my chicken bouillon out that I'm going to put about a teaspoon maybe in each jar. You don't add liquid to this, for those of you that don't know, because it makes its own liquid. So if it was cooked, we would add liquid. The other thing I wanted to say, none of this stuff that ended up being cut off is going to go to waste. I am going to make my dog's weekly dog food addition. They get this with rice and some peas and carrots over their kibble. Makes them happier to be here. Anyway, I'm going to start loading my jars and show you how that goes. I've got my canner is already on the stove with the water and the glug of vinegar in it. I'm going to use my Tadler lids again. I've got 2 of those in there. If you go online, that's what you look for box-wise. They're kind of, it's an investment. What if factories shut down and they weren't making lids anymore? You would not have a way to preserve your food. So I urge you to, even if it's just little by little, buy a dozen to start with. That's a dozen jars you'll have. So I start packing the jars. Everything that I've got has been sterilized or sanitized as much as it can in the dishwasher, and then I always will boil water. And so you want an inch of head space in this also. And I'll go around. This looks kind of too full. 1 piece can make a difference. So get these 2 jars packed up, show you how I do the rings and get the air bubbles out, and we'll go from there. So I'm excited. I will write down, I keep a journal with when I can stuff, so I'll be, if this is 9 jars or 8 jars, I will put 8 pints of boneless, skinless chicken breast. And when I open one, I try to remember to go ahead and take that off the list. So I kind of have an idea of what I got. So let me wash my hands real quick. And the other thing is too, a year from now or 2 years from now, chicken does not last in a freezer more than a few months. So you don't get to take advantage of bargains like that for long term. A year from now, I will be able to pull this out of my extended pantry, as I call it, and know that I only paid $1.59 a pound, when the current prices at that time might actually be triple. You don't know what we're in for. So it's just another an insurance policy. I consider if you store food, you're ensuring that your family is going to have something to eat. And you know, you may have to feed a neighbor. We've got elderly neighbors right next door and across the street, and I doubt seriously that they do this. A little bowl with some white vinegar. I just dampen a paper towel or a napkin and really wipe the rims down, get the bacteria off, and I just like to be really safe with, I mean, this is a huge responsibility. If you think about it, you're responsible for food safety for a lot of people. I have never ever had a problem. So now I'm going to go ahead and put my, about a teaspoon or so of the bouillon, chicken bouillon. I found that I like that better than the salt. So I get my magnet and pull this out of lid. And it rings. Here we go. These are hot. Well, man down. That won't work. Okay. Good thing I did extra. I always do extra jars and lids and rings, just because what if I actually have more or less than I thought? So it's no fun when you've got everything all prepped and all of a sudden you realize that you did not do enough lids or rings, or you don't have enough jars cleaned. It's just a nightmare. So I guess I should probably, there we go. I usually put these in here a little bit differently, but I heated the water up on the stove and transferred it, so that's why the struggle. There you go. And these will go in the canner. I'm going to finish loading my jars and get them all ready to go in, and I'll be back when I do that. I did end up with 7 pounds of meat that I'm going to process, and probably 8 pounds, because 2 of those breasts are going to be for our dinner tomorrow night. So I'm going to go ahead and get this in the pressure canner. I've got 2 of the Tadler lids on, and these are what they call cold packing, and I'm excited. What a bargain. I wish I would have been there early this morning. I could have processed, 30 pounds or so, but that's all right. Everything happens the way it's supposed to. So I'm going to get this in the canner, and I'll show you when we're all done. All right, you guys, my canner is venting right now. Got about 6 minutes left. I let it vent for a full 10 minutes. Get all the air out of there and get everything ready to make our food wonderful and last for a long time. And over here we have what our little dogs are, well, they're not little, but what our dogs are going to get over their food. They're going to get all that good chicken, all those, that was the fat and the gristly stuff I cut off that chicken breast. And so I threw in, I actually have rice in here, This time it's white rice just because that's what I had. And but you can see all the chunks of chicken. I've got some peas in there, and I put a couple eggs, kind of like an egg drop soup for them. So they'll get that over their dog kibble for the week. Alright, you guys, I'm going to take the lid off the canner, come down, the pressure's all off of it, and it's still really hot. It stays hot for a long, long time. But you know what? As soon as it's been down off pressure for about 10-15 minutes, I usually take it off. So I'm bringing out this cute chicken. Look how pretty. And then I'm going to tighten all these lids because they need to be tightened down. I have 2 Tadler lids right here that I'm going to tighten down immediately. And this will boil in these jars for an hour or so. It just is incredible. So everything in that jar is actually sterile, and until you open it and compromise that seal and change the environment inside the jar, you have a fabulous item. You don't have to worry about whether it's okay for you or not. So I just grab it, tighten it down, and I'm going to do this with all of them. It allows the jars to go ahead and grab that seal. They've been able to let loose up and down, and these are all 1 pound, 1 pint jars. So I have 7 pounds of chicken here that I know I paid $1.59 a pound for. Boneless, skinless chicken breast. Can't get any better than that. I trimmed it, and it's going to be for our family for when we need it. Alright, you guys. Hope this inspires you to do something